If you own an E30, there's a pretty decent chance that your hood release cable at some point has gone bad. So this one has, and I've picked up a new hood release cable from Tuner Motorsports, and I'm gonna show you how to install it. Now, I've already removed mine because I had ordered the part and I was sent the wrong one. So mine's already been removed. I'm just gonna be showing the install, but the removal's easy. It's basically the same thing as installing, just in reverse. To get started, we're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver. There's gonna be a few screws inside the grille that we're gonna have to remove. I'll start that now. You'll also have to knock out a few of these clips that are on the top here. With the grille removed, we can see the two bolts that hold on that hood release latch. To get those, we're gonna have to remove these lights. Here, you can see that I've got these depot halo lights on, but the removal is gonna be the same. There's just gonna be a few screws to knock off and the assembly will come right out. With these lights out of the way, we can see the cable where it comes out. We're gonna fish the actual hood release latch through this portion, but it's best if you can mark these bolt holes just so that you can get your hood to line up again. Like all bolts, those are 10 mil, so I've got the 10 mil in hand and I'm gonna knock those out. So now I've got one hand on the bolt and I got one hand on the actual cable so I don't lose it. I'm gonna remove that bolt and then pull the latch out from its home. And we can see this thing is pretty gross. So I'm gonna take a bit of time to clean this up before we replace it with our new one right there. So all I'm doing is removing this little black plastic cover, and that gives access to the actual mechanism. So we can see here how it would normally close, sitting in here. It'll click there, and then eventually when this cable pulls, we release this section of the mechanism to click the latch back open. I'm just gonna hit this with a little bit of cleaner and degreaser and just try to clean this up before we reinstall it. We've disassembled the latch, but we gotta get this part over to the front of the car and this part on the inside. There's gonna be a seal just like this that'll punch through the firewall. My car still has one, so I'm gonna try to pull out the old one from this car under here and there. It's hard to see without the light. And we're gonna run it down, along, and then through the front. There's gonna be some mounting places from the factory along this line to help you guide it. If you already have one on your car, you're gonna be able to find it. It's gonna make it a lot easier to just pull out from the cabin and then reinsert this new one. First, you're gonna have to remove the kick panel that's held on by a few screws on the top. Now, in terms of running the handle, I know I don't really have much light in here, but there's gonna be a hole up at the top left underneath the kick panel. It's gonna have the pass-through for the actual cable, and then there's gonna be a few little bolts just above the speaker on the left-hand side where the actual handle is gonna mount. With the cable pulled through this pass-through down below, you're gonna route the cable underneath inside the original plastic cable mounting removable, reusable little bracket thingies. It's gonna curve around the front and then go towards the location of the latch. Now that we've got the hood release cable ran up, we're gonna attach it back into the actual release mechanism, bolt it back up, and we should be all set to go. We're gonna now feed this back through and remount it in these channels that we've lined up earlier. If you've marked these with a marker, you can try to put the bolts back to their original position. I really recommend screwing in these bolts and screwing in the latch inside first, and then properly attaching the cables just to make sure that you've got the right amount of tension and you're not fighting with work that you've done before. As you can see, I've reinstalled the hood latch. I'm now gonna go inside the car and activate the hood and see if it releases properly. As you can see from the hood lifting up, we know our latch is installed correctly. Now it's just a matter of connecting the latch inside, securing the cable, and putting everything back on. So the first thing that we're gonna do to reassemble our front end is install the lights. Make sure that when you're reinstalling these lights, you bolt them up loosely, and then you make sure everything's aligned properly before tightening the rest of the bolts down. I usually like to start with the top because it holds everything in, and then finish with the bottom two, finishing up, making sure that everything is nice and snug and our lights are reinstalled. After that, we are going to get our grille. In this case, I've got my beautiful but non-Euro spec grille. I like to start with the little clips on the top that lock in, and then the 2 screws on the bottom. We're just going to install these so that they're snug, but we don't need to put too much force into them. It's old plastic, so we want to make sure that we're being gentle. And with that all said and done, we should just be able to close it. Awesome. And a final test. We will open this up. We will grab our new latch, give it a pull, and bada boom, bada bing.